All right, we are live. Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Happy Thursday to everybody. It's nice to have hunting season in full swing. Hopefully a lot of you guys have gotten out or getting out shortly. I wanted to cover some things today. I'm getting ready to go up to Montana on Monday for an elk hunt, and thought it'd be helpful seeing the response from going through my kit list and gear list from my sheep hunt to take you through what I take for elk hunt. And I know we've had a lot of customers ask the questions, what's the difference in the style of kit that you bring on the different types of hunt. And I thought it'd be good to share what I bring and what I've found to work for me on September elk hunts during the rut. I'm going to cover KUIU products, the pack I'm going to bring, and then my bow setup and some gear that I'm going to be testing. But I thought it'd be good to start off. We get a lot of questions about what's new, what's coming that's new. And I know we've had a lot of requests over the years for more solids, and we've wanted to do more solids. We're finally in an inventory and in a position as a company to start to roll out more solids in our collection. And you're going to see lots of changes in solids on a seasonal basis throughout our line. So those of you who've been waiting for it, it's coming. You've seen some of it. We've got some new solid products that just came in. I don't know if you've noticed on the site, but we have the Tiburon pant in a khaki, which is a fantastic color, not only for hunting, but also for daily wear. I love this pant for wearing to work. I'm wearing the shorts right now. And it's just, that fabric makes it such a versatile pant, whether it's hot or cold, and just wears so well. We've got the new attack pant colors in the brown color, and then we also have it in Loden green. We have the Chinook in a color blocked brown color that I think looks really good. The new Ultra Down in a gray color that is a really good neutral gray color I love. And then a couple of the new color choices for the guide jackets. I love the black and gray, and then I love the color pop of this green on the guide jacket. So check these out. If you don't have them, get them. We're selling through the solids like crazy, and they won't last long. So if you're interested, get into it. And I want to also field a bunch of questions. So before we get into the kit, McCabe, you said you had some questions you want to dive into early.
Yeah,
and then we'll take questions throughout the live broadcast.
Of course. Yep, that sounds good. So one question that came in through Instagram. One thing we did differently was we posted last night on Instagram, and customers
started asking questions early. Yeah, what's come in? So
Pack 8541 said, "Will there ever be a Mountain Star or Storm Star 3P tent?"
That's a good question. We've actually sampled out a Storm Star 3P that we're going to be testing and looking at. The question is a 3P the extra weight, extra poles and dimensions we have to put into it, an efficient size of tent to move up from the 2P? I know for a 3P size tent, adding for 2 people is a great useful size. So we're evaluating it, we're considering it. A lot of it has to do with customer input. If you guys tell us you want a 3P Storm Star or Mountain Star tent, it really helps us understand the future demand of it. So that request is out there. Please let us know.
Awesome. And this one just came in from Key Hano on Instagram. It came in quite often. Will there ever be a Vias 2.0? If so, when?
I don't know if we'll see a Vias 2.0 in the near future. We're always evaluating our patterns. One of the things we struggle with at KUIU is the range of technical fabrics that we print on. Unlike fabrics that I previously with my previous company, we have such a wide range of makeup, whether it's a quality of poly yarn that we're getting out of Japan, the thickness or density, quality of the yarn, whether it's nylon, the construction of it, that really makes consistent color and print across our line very challenging. And it's one of the things we're really working on right now, is to get a consistent color range within our product line. You're going to see that more in Vias. We've kind of gotten it there pretty close on V2. That's something we're working on now. But as far as a Vias pattern 2.0, I don't see anything happening in the near future at all on that. But good question.
We got time for one more?
Sure.
Cool. This one came in from James Dennis on Facebook. He asked, "Do you support keeping public lands public?"
Always, and always have. And I know that there's been some questions brought up about my political support of the Trumps. I've become friends with Donald Trump Jr. We hunt together and understand their position on public lands, which is absolutely keeping public lands public, keeping access open to everybody. I've had the unique opportunity not only to get Donald Trump to get to know Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and and President Trump, but also I've had a couple meetings with Secretary of Interior Zinke, and he's adamantly a proponent of keeping public lands public. Really, there's been some press around his review of national monuments, and people have made it out to be that he is not supportive of public lands, that this is a move to turn those public lands back to private. Having spent some time with Secretary of Interior Zinke, meeting with some of the conservation organizations with offices in DC, and truly understanding what he's doing with this review of the national monuments that Obama signed in, is to making sure that that national monument doesn't restrict public access, doesn't take away opportunities for hunting and fishing. And it has a lot to do with the plan of management around those lands. And that's really what Secretary of Zinke is diving in to better understand. And that if it is going to take away opportunities for people to hunt and fish on those lands, is that the best use of that land to restrict that type of access and that type of use? It certainly is no move to turn those lands from public into private, and I would never support that as well. And we donate a lot towards conservation. We are pro public lands remaining public, and adamantly against anything that would take lands away from public access hunting and fishing and using those lands. So I just continue to say the same message I've said multiple times. Absolutely want to keep public lands public, and we'll do everything we can to fight against it. And I feel fortunate to have the opportunity to talk to Secretary Zinke, meet with Secretary Zinke, and talk about these concerns that our customer base has and the hunting community has as well. So good questions. So let's dive into the kit. It's a lot of what I bring on my elk hunt isn't totally different than what I take sheep hunting. I'm building a layering system, although I'll have some different choices, some of the products, because the time of year we get some colder temperatures than we get up when we're normally sheep hunting. And I'm not backpack hunting, so I have to worry about weight and bulk as much as I do on a sheep hunt. So I'm not counting grams, and more on a lot of it's on functionality. As far as the pant I'm going to run the same pant that I took on my sheep hunt, which is our Alpine Pant. And I like that because of the versatility of it with the hip vents. I can layer up underneath, and it's got the kneecaps, so I'm on my knees a lot when elk are coming in or doing a setup. And I like the extra pocketing on the sides for either elk calls or for gloves or for headwear. So I'll be bringing the Alpine Pant on this hunt because looking at the weather conditions next week, we're going to get some pretty cold weather. It's pretty wet weather. So I'm going to pack the Chinook pant because we're not backpack hunting. We're base camping out of, and so extra weight and extra clothes isn't a problem. So I'll bring the Chinook in case the temperatures really drop. On my base layers, I'm going to be running the Peloton on the tops and the bottoms, zip off bottoms, and then also bring in the Peloton 97 and the Peloton 200 as my two mid layers. And this gives me a really good range, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, or to layer together in colder temperatures. And I love the Peloton just because of how light it is and how dry and comfortable it is to wear and how quickly it dries. I love hunting in a vest, especially for elk, especially bow hunting, keeps my arms free. So I'm going to be, again, wearing the Peloton 240 vest because it's light, it's packable, keeps my core warm, and it's wind resistant by construction. Something else to note is I never go into the mountains without Super Down or Super Down Ultra now. So I'll be packing in a dry bag in the bottom of my pack, Super Down Ultra jacket and pants, just in case we have to spend the night out or the temperatures really drop and we're sitting behind glass for a long time. One of my favorite pieces for elk hunting that we've created is the Kenai jacket. That's using the 3D FX, the uncoated face fabric. Gives you lots of breathability. You can hike and climb in it in cold conditions, and it's really quiet. And I'll literally put this on and never take it off except for the middle of the day when I'm elk hunting. It's the most versatile, best elk hunting jacket I've ever worn. One of the reasons I wanted to create the Ultra X is reduce the amount of weight and bulk that's in your pack for rain gear. And for elk hunts, for mule deer hunts, when we're gonna get some weather, but it's inconsistent, you're not in your rain gear a lot, that's why we created the Ultra X, and that's what I'm bringing on this hunt because of how light and packable it is. Jacket pant together is like 14 ounces, which is the same weight as a Chugach. Bring our large quarter bags for these, hopefully I need it. And then I'll bring a large zippered meat bag as well for the tenderloins, back straps, any neck meat that I got to put in there. And that's my game bag setup. And then as far as headwear, I'm going to bring the Peloton 240 glassing cap for neck gaiter, which I really like because it's going to cover your face if you got a bull coming in. I'm bringing the Peloton neck gaiter, the 130, and then also the 200. So if it gets really cold, I can cover up my face and keep my head and neck warm. And I can pull it up over the back of my hat or the back of the 240, and it works like a balaclava. A couple new products I'm going to be testing. The Expedition glove. These aren't out yet, but this is a heavily insulated glove. It's going to be similar warmth as a North Star glove, but it has a neoprene cuff, which allows you to get in and out of the glove a little bit simpler and quicker. It also lets you, put your cuff tabs over the top of this in bad weather. And this is a new style that's coming out. I tested it on a couple different hunts in the spring, and this is what I'm going to be taking to test on elk hunting. I usually don't wear gloves elk hunting because I don't need hand protection. I like to fill the bow and not have anything over my hands shooting my release. But behind glass, or if we're hiking during the day and it's cold, that's why I'm bringing the Expedition gloves for. They're waterproof, they're breathable without dry, and it's a killer new glove that's going to be coming out soon. And then because it's getting cold, this new prototype came in, and it's a really warm hat. It's built like the Peloton 240, but it's got a Sherpa high loft fleece on the inside, which is really soft, really warm. And then it has a heavier duty nylon fabric on the outside with a little bit of 3DFX insulation in it. So it's going to be by far the warmest hat we've made. And if it gets cold, I'll be able to test this thing out. Bring my Kestrel knife. This is the Mouflon Skinner. I love this knife, especially for skinning out big elk. It sharpens well, keeps an edge for a long time. It's a great skinner for an animal that's large like an elk. As far as my optics, I'm going to be using the Swarovski 10x42s, same optics I take when I go sheep hunting. Normally just use the rangefinder. On this one, I'm rifle hunting for sheep. For archery hunting, I like to have a one-hand operation on our rangefinder. So I'm running a rangefinder pouch on the side of the bino harness with our lanyard. So if you get a bull coming in, you can go up, you can get the range, you can drop your rangefinder and go ahead and make the shot, versus your binoculars, you're gonna have to go up and put it back in, and it's a left-handed button. So that's why I'm using this setup for archery hunting, which I always do, and I'm using the Leica rangefinder. This one's what I found to be one of the best and most accurate rangefinders out there. It's small and compact. Footwear, I'm gonna run the Rebel K's like I did on my sheep hunt. The other option would be the R Revolutions, another great choice for elk hunt. I just like a stiffer boot, and I found these to be so comfortable. It's what I'm going to take on my elk hunt. The area we're hunting, the ranch we're hunting, is really open terrain, and we do a lot of glassing because we're primarily hunting for really big bulls in this ranch in the 365 to 385 class range. There's a lot of elk, high elk density, so really targeting and finding a big bull. We spend a lot of time behind glass at long distances. I'm bringing the Swirl 95 millimeter spotting scope. And I'm always looking to find ways to cut weight on my kit. And on this hunt, I'm testing out a new tripod by a company called Velbon, which is a carbon fiber tripod. It has 2 sections of legs with a flip clip, which I prefer, I don't know if you can see this, versus a twist clip, because I know it's locked shut. And the tripod, if you take out this middle section here, weighs right around 2 pounds, which is, for this height of tripod and the style of tripod, is as light as I've been able to find. And it's a product I just ordered and received. And then Gitzo came out with a new head that I'm going to try, which is only 1 pound. And this new combination versus the Manfrotto setup I was using, I'm saving about 3 pounds just on the tripod and head. So I'm going to give this a run, see how I like it. And then when I do the review of the product and gear, I'll let you know what I think. But I'm pretty optimistic and save about 3 pounds on my tripod and head setup. And I think that pretty much, on my pack. So another new product I'm going to test on this is an Ultra 2000. So we have the Ultra 1800. A lot of elk hunts, especially when it's cool, is just a little bit too small. I've been running the 3000 or the Icon Pro 3200. So we went up a little bit in size from the 1800 to 2000. And you see on this pack, we increased the height so it actually comes over the stays. Still pull away from the pack. We can still, put an elk quarter or meat behind, but it's just a little bit larger size, and I'm going to test that out and see if it's enough for elk hunts and this, for a day pack setup, which I believe it's going to be. I'm pretty excited about it. Let's get into some questions.
Let's do it. So Clay Peck, coming in from Facebook, asked, "What's one thing you wouldn't leave home without?"
Binoculars. More so than probably anything else. I think optics for me, how much time we spend behind optics. If I'm going to go out in the field, I'd rather leave everything else behind and bring my optics, because without optics, you're not going to find the animals to hunt. And that's probably my number one thing that I make sure is always in my pack. It's a good question.
Do you ever use your tripod with binos to glass?
I do. And I'll use it. I have 15 power binoculars that I'll use for certain hunts, and I'll mount those directly on with a tripod, with an adapter for my tripod. My 10x42s, I usually don't use an adapter, but I will set them over my spotting scope if I need to for stability. Just depends on the hunt that I'm doing.
Awesome. Tom Johnson asked, "Is there a big difference between the Yukon Pro and the new Expedition glove?"
Yes, there is. It's a good question. So the Expedition glove has a lot more insulation than the Yukon Pro. It also has a neoprene cuff that fits tight around your wrist, so there's no cinch to go around, and it's a little bit shorter. So this is going to be a warmer glove than the Yukon Pro, and is more for late season, or a style of glove where you can really cinch it down over the top of your jacket. You don't have to have another cuff tab. So it's really going to fit a little bit differently, more towards the North Star as far as warmth, but easier use because it's not a gauntlet style glove, which is better. This glove's better in wet weather and stormy weather because you don't have the water migrating down your sleeve. Let's do one more and I'll get into my bow setup.
Sounds good. This one came in from me1776. Why Peloton over Merino wool?
It's a great question. Both are great choices. We launched this brand. It was nothing but merino wool, 17.5 micron, certified New Zealand merino wool, which I really like. About 4 years ago, Toray developed a knit program out of their Prime Flex yarn, which we use for all of our outerwear, which is such an amazing patented yarn with its ability to stretch and recover without elastic. And when they introduced that product range, we started testing it. We were I was reminded of the advantages of a really premium synthetic product, how fast it dries and how durable it is. I mean, the downsides of merino wool, because it's a hydrophilic fiber, it's going to pull moisture into it. It's how it kind of keeps you warm when it's wet, is it's going to pull the moisture off your skin into that fabric and then evaporate it. And it's going to hold moisture longer. And it also has, no matter what micron, you're still going to feel the fact that it is merino wool. And the advantage to merino, as I see it, is it's going to keep you more temperature regulated because of the evaporative effect, the fact that it pulls moisture into that fabric. And then also the keratin protein that it's made up with is antimicrobial by nature. So as we know, there's the odor advantage of a merino piece over a synthetic. And in the past, synthetics, the challenge we've had with it is getting longevity out of the synthetic base layer without having it get odor buildup from bacteria. And fortunately for us, we went to Toray with that challenge with their knit program, and they had developed a really strong antimicrobial type of treatment that they're using in their medical field. And we applied it to our Peloton products and found that it works extremely well. In fact, like for instance, on my sheep hunt, I ran 2 shirts for 14 days in the mountains, switching back and forth, and never had a problem with those containing a lot of odor or smelling poorly. So that's really, I like a drier fabric next to my skin, and the feel and the durability of a synthetic, because merino is not that durable. So that's, it's a kind of a personal choice, but that's why I like our synthetics over merino. A long-winded answer.
Someone actually asked to see the inside of that 2000. You think we can show them?
Sure.
Awesome.
So it's the Ultra series, so it's super basic. I like going light and fast on elk hunts, so I can move quickly. So I choose the Ultra system. Let me open this up for you. So it's got the same horseshoe top entrance like most of our packs. Same pocketing configuration with the top pocket here and a long vertical pocket. You can spotting scope or rain gear. And then inside I've got it kind of set up with what I'm going to bring as far as a 3-liter bladder that clips in. And then something that I do, that I don't know if I've ever covered, is I use our small zip top dry bags and then a small carabiner, and I clip in the loops to the loop up here where the hydration clips into as well. And then you can hang these zip top dry bags and easily access them for whatever products are in there. I've got survival kit, I have fire starter, I have my knives, I have my backup batteries, and these all hang right here, easy to access and out of the way, and they stay out of the bottom of your pack. But I think you can see the inside of that pretty well.
A lot of questions coming in about your release. So
Sure.
I think it's time to cover the bow.
So I'm shooting a True Fire release. I've gone through several. For me, I like the padding on the inside of the release. I like the way it sits in my hand. What I like about this release also is that when you're traveling or hiking all day, it folds back. And then the trigger on this release for me, I pull it all the way back. It lets me wrap my finger around, and then when I'm at full draw on and at anchor, instead of squeezing the trigger like you normally would, I start drawing the bow again. That lets the trigger come off, almost like a back tension release, but still gives me the ability to punch the trigger if I need to on a quick shot. As far as the bow, I'm shooting an Elite that I've shot the last couple years. It's an Energy 35, dipped in beautiful VS camouflage. Turned out really good, and I like the longer axle length because I'm tall and my draw length. Shoot those better. And then I'm shooting a Spot Hog sight, and I am shooting, what release am I? Oh yeah, a Trophy Taker release, drop release. Then as far as the arrow setup, I'm shooting a VAP Elite 300 with a Slick Trick broadhead, 100 grains. And this arrow comes in just over 400 grains at my arrow length. And pretty cool setup. Bob Fromm down at Performance Archery in San Diego, California does arrow tuning where he takes the shafts, spins them, finds consistent spine on every single arrow, matches them up, and then squares off the ends of the arrow so they're perfectly square. An offset knock or an offset insert will obviously dramatically affect the arrow flight. They're not all true and straight when you get them. So he squares them off. He does all the work on the spining to make sure they're all matched and weighs them and then puts premium fletching on it and really does this whole setup. And you can call him and ask him to set you up custom tuned and spined arrows. And what you get is a matched set of arrows. They're all going to fly the same. A lot of guys I know will go out and take the new arrows out, number them, and shoot them to figure out which are shooting consistent and which aren't. And he actually does all that work for you in advance, so they're all going to shoot exactly the same. And it's really helped me out being really consistent, especially on the longer shots. And it's a product you can call and order, and he'll his team down there will custom tune your arrows for you. And it really makes a difference, especially with today's compounds at longer distances. So check him out, Bob Fromm. And I worked at Bob's shop when I was in high school, and he taught me a lot about this industry, taught me a lot about running a business, taught me a lot about archery. There's, I think, a guy out there that understands how to tune arrows and a bow better than Bob Fromm out there. He's an amazing hunter, and he's been in the business forever. So if you ever have any questions about tuning a bow, getting arrows set up, he's a great resource to reach out to via email or give him a call at Performance Archery down in San Diego, California. I think that covers my bow setup. And same setup I used last year. What I like about it is how well it shoots. The Elite is easy to shoot. I'm shooting at about 65 pounds, like a little bit slower speeds to just get really consistent and accurate and have downrange accuracy that's reliable versus really high speeds. So that's my setup. Got a lot of confidence in it, and that's what we'll be taking. What other questions you have?
So this one's came up a couple times actually. This one was on Instagram from JJoke, 1985. Any plans for Blaze Orange?
We actually have a Blaze Orange hat coming out just because of request. I think it's coming out later this year. The Blaze Orange comments we get, the hard thing with it is, what do you put it on? And if you do Blaze Orange on a guide jacket, you do Blaze Orange on a Peloton shirt, as soon as it's raining, you got to put your rain gear on. So then do you do Blaze Orange in your rain gear? I mean, that's the struggle we have. And so, for us, if we're hunting, like if I hunted in Colorado last year during rifle season for deer, I put just a really lightweight orange vest over the top because I could move it within my system. And that's why we haven't done more blaze orange products. If you guys have ideas of what you'd like as far as a blaze orange setup besides a ball cap, please let us know. We'll look at it. We're kind of considering all options on it. That's why we haven't come out with something. Really, because it's something you got to kind of move throughout your system as you're layering up and layering down. Good question, though.
Awesome. Another one from Facebook. Do you prefer to bow or rifle hunt?
You know, it's a good question. So, you know, my background, I grew up hunting with my father, who's a die-hard traditional hunter, and I grew up shooting a longbow for years. And for about 25 years, I didn't pick up anything but my longbow and hunt with it. About 7 or 8 years ago, one of my first sheep hunt up at Arctic Red, and I brought a rifle. Steve Boswell built me a custom gun that I took on that hunt. And, you know, I had so much fun hunting with a rifle, I've continued to hunt with it. And I hunt with my gun just like I do with my bow. It just gives me opportunity, obviously, to shoot some animals at longer distances. And when I'm rifle hunting, I'm just focusing on trying to really shoot a mature old animal every single time. And I've gotten to really enjoy, you know, that aspect and that type of rifle hunting. I think, you know, it just depends on the species and type of hunting you do. You know, I love bow hunting. I love the excitement of elk hunting with a bow or mule deer hunting with a bow, but I also enjoy rifle hunting just about equally as well too. They're both challenging, just depends on the weapon and how you hunt with it, in my opinion.
Awesome. A couple questions from some guys in Texas asking about what they should take during early season hunts.
So early season in Texas, I wonder, or early season?
Early season in Texas.
Yeah, I would.
So
I mean, Tiburon for sure. Tiburon pants. One product I didn't cover in this, and I think I've got a sample here. A product here is our Tiburon snap shirt. I can't find it. I thought I put it in here, but Tiburon zip tee, Tiburon snap shirt, Tiburon pants. I think one of the great things about merino wool is how well it's thermoregulating, and honestly, I prefer merino wool in hot temperatures versus cold temperatures. Oh, here it is. Tiburon snap shirt that just came out. It's an awesome piece. We've had a lot of requests for a full button down. Here it is. So yeah, definitely Tiburon. Look at merino wool, the 125 against your skin, or the Peloton. That's what I'd recommend. Oh, speaking of new products, I know we've had some questions about the couple projects we did on Gear Route earlier this year and when those products are going to arrive. Just got confirmation the Summit Refuge shelter has shipped. It'll be here. We're looking to start shipping it the fourth week of October. And then we have the new Super Down Pro, which is a larger jacket than the Super Down. It has twice the amount of down and a heavier duty face fabric. And we have the jacket and pant, and those are both coming out about mid-October next month. So if you're looking for, on the Super Down Pro, a jacket that you can pull over everything, sit behind glass, that's a jacket that I know a lot of you have asked for, and that's coming out, and I've been testing it for the last year, and it's absolutely awesome. Super, super warm. So look for those pieces coming out next month.
So this one came in on Instagram from GRVADN. GR Van Dyke 84.
Yeah.
Any plans in the future for flex fit hats or for larger dudes?
Yeah, we do. So we've heard you. I know a lot of people complain that our hats aren't as big or as deep as they need to be for some head sizes, and we've listened. We've been working with a couple different hat companies developing flex fit program for us, and those, I promise you, will be out early next year. I think, I don't know, we may have some solids that come out the holiday season flex fit, I believe, but a full range of flex fit styles and fits. We'll have a lot more options in hats, hat styles, hat colors that all flow in through next year. So we've heard you, we're doing something about it. And any other suggestions or comments on products like that, let us know. Anything else coming in?
We've had a couple questions about a kids line.
So yeah, we are working on youth. My goal is to have it out before summer next year. I can't confirm that. And so as soon as we have confirmation of when it will be released, it's been developed. Some of you have seen pictures of my son wearing it on Instagram and some of the other posts that I put out there. It's a work in progress, kind of finalizing pricing and factory specs right now on it, and the range of sizes. So I'll keep you posted on exactly when it's going to come out. It will go to market, and I'll keep you posted on exactly when it is, and it's awesome. Your kids will love it. I know my kids do. They're excited about it. So
We have time for one more?
let's do one more. We'll wrap it up. And I just, yeah, let's do one more question real quick.
Perfect. So this one came in on Instagram from DarkArtGuy87. And he asked, how can I get my gun dipped in camo?
Good question. So you can look up on the internet and find anybody that can do hydro dipping or Cerakoting, and they can request, like hydro dipping, they can request the film from TWN that has our film already developed. It's in stock. They order it, they dip your gun, and ship it back to you. So any reputable hydro dipper should be able to do it. There's some companies out there that can do Cerakoting. That's another nice treatment to your guns. And so not hard to do. You just got to find somebody that can do it for you and order the film. Simple. And it looks great. So thanks for everybody's time and attention today. I'm enjoying doing the live events. I love the questions. If you have any subjects or anything you'd like us to cover, we're going to do another one next month. Let us know, and I'll make sure that we cover all the topics in advance. You can either email it through customer service or contact me, Kate, on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll make sure we cover it or go through any products or any tutorials you guys want. Just let us know, and we absolutely will cover it. I love it. So thanks for everybody. Good luck through September, and see you guys next month.